Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling like you weren't really heard? Or maybe you've had moments where the words just wouldn't come, where your thoughts felt stuck somewhere between your mind and your mouth, trapped by fear or uncertainty? If so, you're experiencing something deeply human, something almost everyone faces at some point. But here's what I want you to understand: the way you communicate shapes everything. It shapes your relationships, your opportunities, your confidence, and even how you see yourself. And the beautiful part? You can change it. You can learn to express yourself in ways that feel natural, powerful, and deeply connecting. Think about the people in your life who seem to effortlessly connect with others. They walk into a room and somehow make everyone feel comfortable. They speak and people listen. They navigate difficult conversations with grace. What's their secret? It's not that they were born with some magical gift. It's that they've learned, consciously or not, how to use communication as a bridge rather than a barrier. And if they can do it, so can you. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you held back from saying what you really wanted to say? Maybe it was in a meeting at work, where you had an idea but worried it wasn't good enough. Maybe it was with a friend, where you wanted to address something that bothered you but feared creating conflict. Or maybe it was with someone you love, where the right words just wouldn't form. We've all been there, haven't we? That frustrating space where we know we have something worth saying, but somehow it stays locked inside. The truth is, most of us go through life never realizing just how much power sits in the words we choose and the way we deliver them. We underestimate how a single conversation can change a relationship, how one well-timed sentence can open a door we thought was closed forever, how learning to truly listen can transform not just how others see us, but how we see ourselves. Communication isn't just about exchanging information. It's about creating understanding, building trust, and forging connections that matter. So where do we start? How do we move from feeling tongue-tied and misunderstood to feeling confident and clear? It begins with understanding something fundamental: every word you speak creates an impression. Every conversation is an opportunity. Every interaction is a chance to either strengthen a connection or create distance. The question is, are you being intentional about it? Let's talk about listening first, because here's something most people get wrong: they think communication is primarily about talking. But the real magic happens when you master the art of listening. Not the kind of listening where you're just waiting for your turn to speak, mentally rehearsing your response while the other person is still talking. I'm talking about deep, genuine listening. The kind where you're fully present, where you're trying to understand not just the words being said, but the emotions and intentions behind them. When was the last time someone truly listened to you? Not just heard you, but really listened? How did that feel? Chances are, it felt amazing. It probably made you feel valued, respected, seen. That's the gift you can give to others simply by being present in conversation. When you listen with your full attention, people notice. They feel it. And they respond by opening up, by trusting you, by wanting to be around you. But here's where it gets tricky. We live in a world of constant distraction. Our phones buzz. Our minds race ahead to the next thing on our to-do list. We're thinking about what we're going to make for dinner or that email we need to send, all while someone is trying to tell us something important. Can you relate to that? I know I can. And the person talking to us? They can sense it. They can feel when we're not fully there, even if we're nodding along and making the right sounds. Real listening requires discipline. It means putting your phone face down. It means quieting that voice in your head that's already forming opinions or preparing arguments. It means asking yourself, what is this person really trying to tell me? What do they need me to understand? And sometimes, what they need isn't advice or solutions. Sometimes they just need to be heard, to be validated, to know that their feelings matter to someone. Now, let's shift to how you speak, because once you've mastered listening, the next step is expressing yourself with clarity. Have you ever noticed how some people can explain complex ideas in simple terms, while others somehow make simple things sound confusing? The difference isn't intelligence. It's clarity of thought and intentionality with words. Before you speak, especially about something important, take a moment to organize your thoughts. What's the main point you're trying to make? What do you want the other person to understand or feel or do? When you're clear on your intention, your words naturally become clearer too. You stop rambling. You stop using filler words and qualifiers that weaken your message. You get to the point in a way that respects both your time and theirs. And here's something crucial: the way you say something matters just as much as what you say. Your tone of voice, your pace, your energy, all of it communicates meaning. The same sentence can sound encouraging or dismissive, confident or uncertain, warm or cold, depending on how you deliver it. Have you ever sent a text message that was completely misunderstood because the recipient couldn't hear your tone? That happens in face-to-face conversations too, just in different ways. When you speak, pay attention to your voice. Are you rushing through your words because you're nervous? Slow down. Take a breath. Give your message room to land. Are you speaking so quietly that people have to strain to hear you? Find your voice, literally. Speak with enough volume and conviction that people know you believe in what you're saying. Not shouting, just present. Just there. Let's talk about something that holds so many people back: the fear of saying the wrong thing. This fear keeps brilliant ideas locked away. It prevents necessary conversations from happening. It makes people small when they could be standing tall. Where does this fear come from? Usually, it's rooted in past experiences. Maybe you said something once that was misunderstood or criticized. Maybe you grew up in an environment where speaking up wasn't safe or encouraged. Maybe you've internalized the belief that your thoughts aren't as valuable as other people's. But here's what I need you to hear: your voice matters. Your perspective is unique. Your experiences have given you insights that no one else has in quite the same way. When you silence yourself out of fear, you're not just hurting yourself. You're depriving the world of what you have to offer. That sounds dramatic, but it's true. How many great ideas have never been shared because someone was too afraid to speak up? How many relationships have suffered because someone couldn't find the courage to have an honest conversation? The antidote to this fear isn't eliminating it completely. It's speaking anyway. It's accepting that you might stumble over your words sometimes, that you might not always say things perfectly, and that's okay. Perfection isn't the goal. Connection is. Understanding is. Growth is. Every time you push past the fear and speak anyway, you're building confidence. You're training your brain that speaking up doesn't lead to disaster. You're becoming the person who can express themselves, even when it's uncomfortable. Now, here's something most people don't think about: your body is constantly communicating, whether you realize it or not. While you're carefully choosing your words, your posture, your facial expressions, your gestures, they're all sending messages too. And sometimes those messages contradict what you're saying out loud. Have you ever told someone you were fine while your arms were crossed and your jaw was tight? They probably didn't believe you, even if they didn't consciously know why. This is where awareness becomes powerful. When you're having an important conversation, notice what your body is doing. Are you making eye contact, or are you looking away? Are you standing or sitting in a way that shows confidence and openness, or are you making yourself small? Are your hands relaxed, or are you fidgeting nervously? Small adjustments to your body language can completely change how your message is received. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people saying the exact same words. I think we should consider a different approach. One person says it while slouched in their chair, arms crossed, looking down at the table. The other says it while sitting upright, making eye contact, with open body language. Same words, completely different impact. The first person seems defensive or unsure. The second seems confident and collaborative. Which one are you more likely to listen to? Timing matters too. Have you ever had someone try to have a serious conversation with you at the worst possible moment? Maybe you were stressed, distracted, or dealing with something else. Even if what they were saying was important, you probably couldn't give it the attention it deserved. The same principle applies when you need to communicate something important. Consider not just what you need to say, but when to say it. If you need to address a sensitive issue with someone, don't ambush them when they're already overwhelmed or upset. If you want to share an idea at work, Don't bring it up in passing as everyone's rushing to another meeting. Find moments when people can actually be present, when they have the mental and emotional space to really hear you. Sometimes that means asking, "Is now a good time to talk about something?" That simple question shows respect and increases the chances that your message will actually land. Let's talk about difficult conversations, because avoiding them is one of the biggest communication mistakes people make. We tell ourselves we're keeping the peace, being nice, not rocking the boat. But what we're really doing is letting resentment build, allowing misunderstandings to fester, and preventing relationships from deepening. The conversations we avoid don't go away. They just grow heavier. Think about a difficult conversation you've been putting off. Maybe it's with a coworker who keeps taking credit for your ideas. Maybe it's with a family member whose comments hurt your feelings. Maybe it's with a friend whose behavior has been bothering you. What's keeping you from having that conversation? Fear of conflict? Worry that you'll make things worse? Uncertainty about what to say? Here's what helps: approaching difficult conversations with curiosity rather than confrontation. Instead of going in with accusations or demands, go in with questions and observations. Instead of "You always do this," try "I've noticed this pattern, and I'm curious about your perspective." Instead of "You never listen to me," try "I feel unheard when I try to share my thoughts, and I'd like to understand what's happening." This shift in approach changes everything. It moves the conversation from combative to collaborative. It gives the other person room to explain their side without getting defensive. It opens the door to understanding rather than just venting frustration. And here's the thing: even if the conversation doesn't go perfectly, even if you don't resolve everything in one talk, you've done something powerful. You've shown that you value the relationship enough to address issues rather than letting them simmer. Now, let me share something about building real connections with people. Surface-level conversations are fine for casual interactions, but if you want meaningful relationships, you need to go deeper. And depth doesn't come from talking about the weather or complaining about traffic. It comes from genuine curiosity about who someone really is. When you're talking with someone, ask questions that invite them to share more than just facts. Instead of "How was your weekend?" try "What was the best part of your weekend?" Instead of "How's work?" try "What's energizing you at work right now," or "What's been challenging lately?" These questions signal that you're interested in more than just small talk. They invite the other person to share something real. And when they do share something real, honor that. Don't immediately jump to advice or shift the conversation back to yourself. Sit with what they've told you. Acknowledge it. Ask follow-up questions. Show them that you're truly interested in understanding their experience. This is how trust is built. This is how relationships deepen. This is how you become someone that people want to confide in and connect with. But building connections isn't just about deep conversations. It's also about consistency and reliability. Do you follow through on what you say you'll do? Do you show up when you say you will? Do you remember the things people tell you and ask about them later? These small acts of consistency build trust over time. They show people that you're someone they can count on, someone who values them beyond just the moment you're together. Let's talk about something that trips up a lot of people: the need to fill every silence. We get uncomfortable when conversations pause, so we rush to fill the space with words, any words, even if we don't have anything meaningful to say. But silence can be powerful. It can give people space to think, to process, to formulate their thoughts. It can create emphasis, allowing important words to really sink in. Next time you're in a conversation and there's a pause, resist the urge to immediately fill it. Let the silence sit for a moment. You might be surprised at what emerges. Often, that's when the other person shares something deeper, something they needed that quiet space to access. Or it's when you realize what you actually want to say, rather than just saying something to fill the void. Here's another question for you: how often do you really express appreciation for the people in your life? Not just a casual thanks in passing, but genuine, specific appreciation. Most people crave recognition and acknowledgement, yet we're often stingy with giving it. We assume people know we appreciate them, so we don't say it. But people aren't mind readers. They need to hear it. When someone does something you appreciate, tell them. Be specific about what they did and why it mattered. Instead of just "thanks for your help," try "thank you for taking the time to walk me through that process. Your patience and clear explanations really helped me understand it, and I appreciate you investing that energy in helping me." That specificity makes the appreciation feel genuine and meaningful. It strengthens the connection between you. Now, what about those moments when you're under pressure? When stress is high and emotions are running hot, that's when communication often breaks down. We say things we don't mean. We react instead of respond. We let our emotions hijack our words. But these high-stakes moments are exactly when good communication matters most. When you feel yourself getting stressed or emotional in a conversation, pause. Take a breath. Give yourself permission to say, "I need a moment to collect my thoughts." That's not weakness. That's wisdom. It's taking control of yourself so you can communicate more effectively rather than just reacting from a place of emotion. And in these tense moments, try to separate the person from the problem. You're not against them. You're both trying to figure something out together. Even in disagreements, you can maintain respect and kindness. You can express your perspective firmly without attacking theirs. You can disagree with someone's ideas while still valuing them as a person. Let me share something about authenticity, because it's crucial for effective communication. People can sense when you're being fake or performing. They can tell when you're saying what you think they want to hear rather than what you actually think. And while honesty without kindness can be brutal, trying to please everyone by hiding your true self is exhausting and ultimately unfulfilling. Being authentic doesn't mean saying every thought that crosses your mind without a filter. It means expressing yourself honestly while still being respectful and considerate. It means being willing to be vulnerable, to admit when you don't know something, to share what you're really feeling rather than pretending everything's fine when it's not. This kind of authenticity creates real connections because it gives others permission to be authentic too. Think about the people you trust most. Chances are, they're people who've shown you their real selves, not just a polished version. They've shared their struggles, their doubts, their humanity. And that made you trust them more, not less. You can be that person for others. You can create spaces where people feel safe being real because you're willing to be real first. Here's something that will transform your relationships: learning to apologize well. Not the defensive non-apology of "I'm sorry you felt that way," but a real apology that takes responsibility. When you mess up, when your words hurt someone even if you didn't mean them to, own it. Say, "I'm sorry. I was wrong. I understand how that hurt you, and I'll work on doing better." That's powerful. That builds trust even after it's been damaged. And on the flip side, when someone apologizes to you, receive it graciously. You don't have to pretend everything's immediately fine if it's not, but you can acknowledge their apology and work toward rebuilding together. Holding grudges and refusing to forgive doesn't punish the other person as much as it weighs you down. Let's talk about something practical. How do you actually improve these skills? Like any skill, communication gets better with practice. Start small. In your next conversation, focus on one thing. Maybe it's making better eye contact. Maybe it's asking more thoughtful questions. Maybe it's pausing before you respond instead of immediately jumping in. Pay attention to what works and what doesn't. Notice how people respond to you. Are they engaged or distant? Are they opening up or shutting down? Use these observations to adjust your approach. Communication is dynamic, not static. What works in one situation might not work in another. The key is staying aware and flexible. And be patient with yourself. You're going to have conversations that don't go well. You're going to say things you wish you'd phrased differently. You're going to misread situations or miss cues. That's all part of learning. Don't beat yourself up over it. Instead, reflect on what you could do differently next time and move forward. Here's what I want you to take away from all of this: you have more power than you realize. The power to connect, to understand, to be understood. The power to build bridges instead of walls. The power to express yourself in ways that feel true and strong and kind. That power lives in how you choose to communicate, and you can start using it differently right now, today, in your very next conversation. You don't need to become a professional speaker or a trained therapist to communicate well. You just need to be intentional. Care about understanding others. Care about being understood. Care about creating connections that matter. When you communicate from that place of genuine care and attention, everything shifts. So here's my challenge to you: in your next conversation, really be there. Put down your phone. Quiet your racing thoughts. Listen with your full attention. Speak with clarity and kindness. Notice your body language. Be present. Be real. See what happens. My guess? You'll find that the conversation is richer, more satisfying, more connecting than the distracted, half-present interactions we've all gotten used to. Communication shapes your life. It shapes your relationships, your opportunities, your sense of connection and belonging. And the beautiful thing? You can always get better at it. Every conversation is practice. Every interaction is an opportunity. The question is, will you take it? Will you show up fully, speak honestly, listen deeply, and connect authentically? Your voice matters. Your words have power. Your presence makes a difference. Don't let fear or doubt or busyness steal that from you. Speak up. Listen well. Connect deeply. This is how you build a life rich with meaningful relationships and genuine understanding. This is how you become someone others trust, respect, and want to be around. And it all starts with how you choose to communicate, one conversation at a time.